let's look at straight lines. So in general, the equation of a straight line can be written in the form y equals mx plus c. Yes, you need to remember this. Y equals mx plus c. Where m is the gradient, which we've just talked about, and c is the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So as a reminder, where's the y-axis? So if you have a set of axes, this is my x, this is my y, and let's say we have a line. This point here is the y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis. Now, we should recall that parallel lines have the same gradient, so the same m value, and also positive gradients slope upwards, and negative gradients slope down. So positive gradients, negative gradients. Okay, so that's what we need to know. So y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient, c is the y-intercept. So let's take a look at some examples. We're just going to identify these. So we want to write down the gradient and y-intercept of the following graphs. Now, the gradient is always in front of the x. It is the number in front of the x. Right? That's what we need to look at, the number in front of the x. So if we highlight that number in front of the x, that is my gradient. So let's take a look at number 1. So the number in front of the x is 2. That is my gradient. So my m equals 2. Now the y-intercept, if we go and look here, the y-intercept is the plus 4 on the end. Now we can say the c value is equal to 4, but this is actually a coordinate. Now if you notice on this diagram up here, if I'm crossing this line on the y-axis, that's a coordinate, and it's always written as 0c because we haven't gone left and right on the axis at all. So here, this is the point 0, 4. Looking at example 2, my gradient is the number in front of the x. So my gradient is 5, so m equals 5, and my y-intercept, or my c value, is the number on the end. It's negative 3, which is the coordinate 0, negative 3. Looking at example 3, in front of the x we have a half. Now that is my gradient. The number in front of the x is my gradient. So m equals 1/2, and my c is the number on the end here, so c is 2, or the coordinate 0, 2. Pause the video and try 4, 5, and 6. Looking at question 4, the gradient is negative 2. The y-intercept is what's on the end, so c equals 5, again, or the coordinate 0, 5. Question 5, the gradient is what's in front of the x, it's negative 3. The c, well, there is no number attached, but what that is the c is 0, so it's crossing at 0, 0. And the last one, the gradient is in front of the x, so it's not 4, it's the number in front of the x. Remember back to our expressions, the sign in front belongs to the number, so that's negative 7. So negative 7, and the c is equal to this number attached, so 4, or 0, 4. And that is how you identify the gradient and y-intercept of the following graphs. So let's take a look at a few other types of questions. We want to write down the equation of these lines, given some information. So let's look at the first one. The equation of the line, so it's a straight line, y equals mx plus c. We need to remember that. So we're given m, the gradient, and it passes through the point 0, 1. Now something special about these points here, they're the y-intercepts, and that's why I've been writing the y-intercepts as coordinates. So here, if I was to write this, y equals, the gradient is 6, x, so the gradient goes in front of the x, and we add on the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where it's crossing the y-axis at the coordinate 0, 1, so we add plus 1. For example 8, y equals, well, the gradient is 3, so it's going to be 3x, and it passes through the point 0, negative 5, so this number, y-intercept, is minus 5. That's how I can create the equation of the line. Now, pause the video and try 9 and 10. Okay, here are your solutions. So, we have y equals negative 2x plus 9, and y equals 3/4 x minus 1. That's how you find the equation of the line or identify the gradient and the y-intercept.